Hello everyone, my name is David Akanji and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are diving into an exciting and highly practical topic, building a hotel performance analysis dashboard with Power BI. Whether you are a hotel manager looking to optimize operations or a data enthusiast wanting to enhance your skill or a Power BI user seeking a new insight, this video is just right for you. We'll be using real-world hotel data scenario to create comprehensive dashboard that cover key performance metrics in hotel management, such as occupancy rate, revenue, average daily rate. I will also walk you through every steps of the process, from importing the data to designing insightful visualization that help you make informed decisions. So get comfortable and let's transform your hotel data into an actionable insight with Power BI. Let's get started. So, quick overview of the dashboard we are going to be building. The dashboard we are going to be building has 3 pages. We have the overview page, which you are currently seeing on the screen. It asks comparison between previous year and current year. It also have total booking, lodging revenue, and a lot of features on it already. And you can filter with this page, and also the booking page. We have a dedicated dashboard for the booking activities. How is the booking progresses in terms of market segment, reservation room type, deposits, and all like that. So we also have distribution of where the guests are coming from. You can see a lot of guests are coming from this particular region. So now the last part of the dashboard is revenue. We study our revenue, which is like income analysis. So we look at the total revenue overall, the lodging revenue, meal revenue, and average daily rate. And then we are going to look at the correlation using the scatter plots in terms of meal revenue and lodging revenue. So all of this is was used to compare the total revenue by customer type. We also look at the total revenue by season. Which of the season are we having more customer and also more revenue? So summer is performing well, followed by spring, autumn, and winter is the least based on the season. So you are going to learn how to build all of this in a couple of minutes. And you can also use filter to check, to drill down to any aspect of the hotel type, and also look at the date to do your comparison. So we are now going to look into data source that we are going to be using for this report. For this report, the data we are going to be using is this. It is a scenario data for hotel management services. So this is the fact table. Our fact table has a long list of information. We have different information on the dimension table, which comprises of ID and the key information that we are going to be using to create a relationship between our revenue and our room type. The link to download the data can be found on the about section of this YouTube video page. So make sure you click the link to download it and follow along and practice along as well with me. Now, for you to understand the data that we have, the type of information that we have in our data, these are the column that we have on the data, and these are the description. You can see a column name hotel. It asks, it means type of hotel that we have, and also have a column name is cancelled, which you are going to be seeing is 0 and 1. 0 mean not cancelled, 1 means cancelled, and a lot of other information like that. So all of these data are going to be available on the link provided for you to download the resources for this project that we are going to be building together. And don't forget, this particular data cover the period of 3 years, 2018, 2019, and 2020. So now let's open our Power BI application. Okay, now that we have our Power BI reports open, let's click on blank report. Then to import our data, we are going to click on transform data from the home page. Then locate transform data. Okay. So let's click on new source to bring in our data set. Our data is an Excel file, so we are going to click on Excel workbook. Then we are now going to look at the data source where we have the Excel file. So the next thing is we are going to wait for the data to load. Then we are now going to select all the table that we actually want to use for our analysis. We can also preview some of the data that we are importing to the Power BI. This is the calendar information. This is company ID, country, customer type, deposit type. These are fact table, which is hotel revenue. Now I'm going to select all of these by clicking the back, the checklist, the box at the back of each of the table name. Now that I'm done, I will click on OK and load them into the Power BI. Now that we have our Power Query editor open and the data has been imported into the Power BI, the next thing we need to do is to check our data to ensure that the data are in the right transformation. Looking at this data currently, we have information that we have on each of our data are okay, are currently okay. Their data type is correct. I don't have any further cleaning I need to do, except I need to add an additional column to get index. I just want to add index so I can use it to run some measure around that site. So now that I have that done, the next thing I'm going to do, this particular data already clean, so we are not doing any more cleaning on it. Now we can close and apply. Now we can see that our data has been successfully been imported into the Power BI. Then let's go to the model view to check our data relationship and let's correct in case there is any of the relationship that is not properly done by the AI. Then we would do that by ourselves. We can see that currently the calendar table is not yet put into a relationship with the fact table. So I'm going to do that manually by going into manage relationship at the top ribbon, then create a new relationship. So from the table here, I'm going to select hotel revenue, then I'm going to select the date table, which is calendar. Yes. So I'll be using the preservation to build the relationship and make the relationship active. Now I also want to create another relationship, but this particular one is not going to be an active relationship. It's also going to be between the hotel revenue and my calendar. But this time around, I'll be using the arrival date and also the date as well. But I'm not going to make this particular relationship active. I'll be using measure to make it active in case I want to use it. So we can also explore the other data sets. If you look at the room type, these are you can review them to ensure that they actually match appropriately. You can see computers automatically match them with the correct ID. So we don't need to stress much of ourselves on that. The relationship has been done correctly by this computer itself. So the next thing we are going to do now is to go back to our table view. We can look at our data in terms of how we currently have it on the table and check in case there is anything we want to look at. So now I'm okay with the view of the table. Now let's go into our reports view. Now we want to start our writing of our DAX. But before we proceed to doing that, we need first of all create a measure folder where all our data that we are writing measure on will be stored. So to do that, we are going to go to home page, click on enter data. From the enter data, we are going to go to the name here. Let's rename the table to measure measures folder. Then let's click on load. Now we have our measures folder showing down here. So the next thing we are going to do now is to be writing our analysis expression, our formulas. So first of all, the first thing I'm going to be calculating is the total booking. I want to understand the total booking, and to also guide us on what we need to do. We are going to be looking at this report to say so that you can also follow along. We're going to be looking at this report to guide so we are going to be calculating the total booking. To calculate the total booking, let's click on the measures folder here, and let's click the three dots and click the new measure. So the total booking is total booking. Total booking equals to, we're going to use count row. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, these are total booking. The next thing, let's remove this column one showing here by deleting it from our model. Now we can have our measures folder at the top. So the next thing we are going to be calculating is, we want to understand the total booking we have year to date. So to calculate our total booking year to date, we are also going to create a new measure. The year to date help us to calculate the current year cumulative total count of booking that we have for the current year. So, and that can be expressed as total booking year to date. This got the total booking. No. So we need to first of all write the measure of total y. Yes. So this is the expression for total year to date. Evaluate the specified expression over the interval which begin on the first day of the year and end with the last date in the specified date column after applying specified filter. So for in this scenario, the expression is going to be total booking. Then we are going to be comparing that with reservation date. Reservation status date, yes. Okay, another thing is I'm looking at one of the spelling on the reservation is not correct. Reservation status, okay. Okay, so let's check the submission status here. Okay, so the spelling for this is actually not correct. All right, it has been now correct. Yeah, so let's drop this here. Check. Then let's check the total booking. So we can say that this is the total booking within the, which is for the whole year in our data, but for the current physical year that we are considering, this is the current total booking that we've recorded. So the next thing we are going to be calculating is the want to calculate the previous year total booking. So previous year's total booking. So based on any date Peter that you apply. So to calculate the previous year, we are going to create a new measure as well. So previous year. First year today booking equals to, so we are going to be using calculate total booking year to date, comma, same period last year, then reservation. I'm going to be using the reservation date. So this is the previous year, the current previous year, based on the comparison between the two. So now the next thing we are going to be doing now is to calculate the percentage difference between the total booking in the current physical year in comparison with the previous year. So let's click on the new measure. So this time around, we're going to be using divide the total booking minus previous year to date, then total previous year, then comma 0. Yeah. So let's drop that here. We can see, let's put into percentage. Let's make it to have 0 decimal place. Okay, we can now see we have 36%. So what we have been able to calculate is booking, which is this red one here, is what we have calculated, and we are able to also calculate the total booking year to date, and we also are able to calculate the total booking here. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to calculate for total length of stay, total cancellation, then move to lodging and average lead time. So we are able to achieve this. So the next thing we are going to do, we want to make sure that whenever the percentage difference between booking is less than 0, it should be red, and otherwise it should be green. So what we are going to write a measure for that. So what we want to do basically now is want to ensure that we do a formatting DAX measure that's going to be helping us to format based on the status. So the color percentage depends on based on booking. What we are now going to do is we are going to be using if percentage difference is less than 0. If after evaluation percentage difference of the booking rate is less than 0, then we should have, yes. So this is the color code for red and this color code for green. So let's try that. So what we now need to do, now that we have this color code, let's go to formatting. Let's click on this. Let's click on format and let's click on call out value. So let's click on the conditional formatting and we are going to select feed value. Then what feed should we base on? Let's go to measure folder, then color percentage. Let's click on that. Then we can now see that the color has changed. So it's going to be based on how the percentage difference of booking look like. It's going to take it to green if we have higher, but if we have lesser and it's run into negative, we are going to be having color red just as an indicator. The next thing we are going to be calculating now is the login revenue. So let's click on new measure, yes. Then okay, the login revenue is sum of, going to use sum of average daily rate, average daily rate. Okay, let's drop that here to see what we have. Okay, this is the login revenue. The next thing we are going to calculate is average lead time. The average lead time is talking about the period it takes from making reservation and to the period of checking in. So how can we calculate that? So we are going to use new measure as well. Uh, so that's going to be average so our average lead time is going to be average of lead time. So let's check that too. Now we have our average lead time. The next thing we are going to be calculating is, okay, let's drop our average lead time here. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be calculating is the total cancellation. The total cancellation can be expressed as, we use count row. So then let's use filter. To pick revenue, let's pick the revenue table. Then we are going to be selecting the column that has the cancellation status, yes and no. So we are going to be picking is cancel. The we have okay, yes. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be writing here, we need to identify yes is cancel. You should filter it out for us. Then let's close our expression. Oh, I was meant to put total cancellation here. So total cancellation. So let's check how many total cancellation do we have. 52k. So now let's calculate the total cancellation year to date. If you remember, we've calculated for total booking year to date. So to calculate the total cancellation year to date, we can just copy what we have used for this particular one, then click on new measure. We are just going to use it to replicate what we have done. So what we just need to do, since we are calculating the total cancellation year to date, we can just rename this to this. Then we are going to change the only thing we are going to change here. We're going to change the measure that is here to total cancellation, so that it can definitely do that for us. So we now have total cancellation year to date using this same expression. So we can see this total cancellation that we've recorded in this current physical year. So the next measure we are going to be calculating is the previous year to date cancellation. So let's click on new measure. You can use calculate, then total cancellation, same period last year. Then we are going to identify reservation status date. Then so now that we have the total cancellation year to date, and we already calculated our total previous year to date, so now let's calculate the percentage. So we can make use of the same percentage that we have here. We can make use of this percentage. We just change the parameter that we have there. So let's copy and paste it to a new one. So percentage, you change this one to percentage difference cancellation, then we take this one to total cancellation year to date minus previous year to date cancellation. Yes, previous year to date cancellation. Then we have it. So let's check. So you can see the percentage. Then the next thing we can also do, let's turn it to percentage, just as we did for this particular one. Then let's reduce the decimal place. So we need to do the color code as well for it to change based on green and red. The if the percentage different calculation is less than zero, it should be red. So we can just make use of the former formula that was used for color percentage different for booking. We can just copy that. Then let's go to new measure the air. Then only thing we are going to change here is we're just going to change the measure name. Instead of booking, we change it to cancellation. Then we change this booking here, we change it to cancellation. Then we have it. So now we have 50% difference between the last year, previous year, and the current year. So let's go to the format value under the column value here. Let's check the conditional formatting and feed value. Let's select the color code for cancellation for it. Yeah, so we have these two. So let's look at the progress that we made so far. We've calculated our booking, we've calculated our lodging revenue average, cancellation rate. We've not done the cancellation rate, but we've done the booking. We need to work on total length of stay as well. So let's calculate the cancellation rate. Let's calculate the cancellation rate. So let's go back to our Power BI. So for the new measure, the cancellation rate. So this is cancellation rate equals to divide, then cancellation total cancellation divided by count row. You need to count the total number of revenue table. So let's add 0 to it. Yes. So we have the cancellation rate being calculated. Then let's click on the measure and let's turn it to percentage, and let's it to reduce the decimal place function at the back. So we have about 8% cancellation rate all over, comparing the whole year. Let's assume for the whole data set that we have, the cancellation rate is 8%, but between the current year and the previous year is about 50% difference. So now the next thing we are going to be calculating is we want to calculate the now we want to calculate the average length of stay. But before we calculate the average length of stay, we need, first of all, need to calculate some additional measures like total number of room occupied per night. So occupied room per night, we are going to calculate that using some X. So we are going to have revenue table, then we are going to be adding two tables together. Revenue night. Okay. So the room occupied by weekday plus plus room occupied by week night on the weekdays and night on the weekend. So we need to calculate these two. We need to add them together. So so what we've done here on the occupied room night, we have a column. We have a column that has the total number of room that is occupied within the week. This is it. The night during the weekend, the total number of room that was occupied, the total number of room that was occupied by weekday. So we had these two together to give us the total number of room occupied per week or per day generally. So the next thing we are now going to do is to calculate the average of that. So with that, it can give us the average length of stay per day. So the average length of stay, to calculate the average length of stay, is just going to be the total number of room occupied is equal to divide occupied room per night by count row, total number of booking that we have, revenue. Okay. So average length of stay. Yeah. Okay. So we can make it to be a whole number. So the next thing we are going to be calculating is average length of stay year to date. So let's calculate the average. So we are going to use the same average length of stay year to date. So we are going to be using the total. So to calculate that, so average length of stay year to date is can be calculated by using the total year to date that we used for previous analysis, and then input average length of stay here and calculate it by reservation status date. So the next thing we are going to be calculating is the previous year to date average length of stay for. So this particular total year to date for the average length of stay is for the current fiscal year. So let's calculate for the previous year. So it's going to be the same formula that was used for this other previous calculations. We are going to use as well for that. So yes, previous years. Okay. So the percentage difference as well is also the same thing. The percentage difference just as we calculated for booking and cancellation. So we are going to be calculating the percentage difference for average length of stay. So it's going to be average length of stay year to date minus previous year to date of average length of stay. Then for the color as well, for the color code, we are also going to repeat the same procedure for the color code as well. So color percentage difference, average length of stay. So as you can see, so we use the same approach. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is let's drop the percentage difference for the average length of stay. Let's look at it. Okay. Then let's make it a percentage. Let's change the format to percentage and okay. So let's change the data call out value format. Then let's pick, you are going to pick a feed value. From pick value, go to the measure table, the measure folder. Then let's select for the average length of stay. Then you can see, so there is improvement of 3% on average length of stay in comparison to last year. Now we now have almost all of the key information we want to calculate for the first dashboard page. So let's now do all of that now. Let's put that together. So the booking, so let's click on the first one, the total booking. The total booking, let's first of all format that. So let's change this to 24. Let's change this to 24 and display to know the decimal place. Let's choose this. Then let's click on the booking. Let's put comma there. So while we are at that, I would like to also import the themes I want to use for this particular visual. Let me import a themes. I already have a customized themes, so let me browse a themes. Okay. Okay. So the theme has been successfully imported. So okay, I can now see the themes I'm looking for. So these are the themes we are using. So I'm going to be using this for, and then for the data label, the category label, I'm going to be using so for this I'm going to be selecting the gold color. Yes. So for the height of the height, let me use 84 by 201, and for the horizontal, let me use 296 by 25. Yes. So I have this here now. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is the lodging revenue. So I can actually, okay, let me just take all of this out. So this is the lodging revenue. Let me replicate the format here. So this is the lodging revenue. Then for the lodging revenue, let me also convert it to dollar. Okay. So the next thing is, let me change the shape. So since I've already applied the format to it, so let me just change the size and position. So the size, let me make it 89, just like I did for the total booking. Then let me make this one to be 253, this one to be 546, and this to be 18. Okay, 89, 253. Okay, so the next thing is average lead time. So average lead time, let me just duplicate this, copy and paste. For the average lead time. So for the average lead time, so let me make this to be 83, this to be 195, 195, it, let me make this one 813, and this to be 22, so that they can all align. So the next thing is cancellation rate. The cancellation rate, so let me click format and apply the same formatting to this as well. The cancellation rate, so the height, let me change the size and position for that as well. Let me make this to be 83, 83, 196, 10, 52, and 22. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is, let's create the frame, the layers where we are going to be having our reports. So for the canvas background, let's click the canvas background, then let's take it away from being white. Let's use one of these ash color. Okay, let's use E6, then let's change the transparency to 0. Okay, so we can see our report. So I'm going to ensure that all of these visual did not have background, so taking away background from them all. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be calculating is the total cancellation. Let's create a total cancellation by year to date. So total cancellation year to date, where is it? So total cancellation year to date. So let's apply the same format. But the unique thing about this particular one is we are going to remove the data label from this particular one. We are going to remove the data label. We don't want it to have a data label. We are going to manually label that. Then we are going to change the size to 59. Let's change the width to 201. Then the horizontal to 226 and the vertical to 163. So with that being done, the next thing we are going to be doing is let's get it. Let's calculate the percentage difference cancellation. Percentage difference cancellation for it. Where is it? Percentage difference cancellation. Okay, we already have it here. Percentage difference cancellation. This is it. So what we just need to do here is let's change for percentage difference cancellation. We are going to also change the font size. We are going to change the font size to, let's change it to 12. We want it to be very small. We are okay with that. So label decimal place, this to be null, decimal place to be 0, and the next thing we want to do is we don't want it to have this. So let's change the position and size. Let's change this to 33 and 99, then 351 and 192. So the next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be plotting a chart. Stack chart. So let's pick the stack area chart. So the stack area chart, we are going to be putting our date table here. So let's look for the date calendar. So let's change the date format. The date format needs to be something very simple and short. Okay. Now let's drop the date to A6 and click on this back arrow. No. Okay. The date hierarchy, let's change it to date. Then we are going to drop the total cancellation year to date. Total cancellation year to date to y-axis. So the next thing is we are removing the background, and definitely we are going to remove the title at both axes. So we don't want it to have a title. Then on the x-axis, we don't want the x-axis to have title. So let's extend it very well. You can see that it has title. Then we don't want it to have any of that. Then close it. The y-axis as well. So we don't want it to have title, and we are closing this. So let's change the size and position. The size and position for it. You make this 125, and let's make this to be 387, and let's make horizontal to be 254 and vertical to be 197. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is, let's first of all put the shape to help us demarcate the frame of our visual. So let's make use of, let's go to insert, let's click on shape, let's select this rounded rectangle, so let's change this one to 142 1039, then 240, then 0. So the next thing we are going to be doing to this, let's give it a shadow, but we are going to change the color, the shape style. We're going to change it to white. It's not going to have any border. Okay, so the rounded shape, let's take it to 4. Okay, so the size. Okay, so let's be checking the page one after the other. Then okay, the shadow, yes. Okay, fill is white. Okay, the shadow, we have the shadow as we want it. Then the next thing is, okay, I think that's all. So let's click on this and let's go to format, then let's send to the back. So this is it. So the next thing we are going to do now is, let's copy this and let's paste it. So what we need to change here, okay, 577 was okay, 416 240 142. Yeah, I think that is okay. Then the copy and paste, then let's make a duplicate of that. But before we go, let's check the rounded size of this. Rounded size might have expanded beyond 4, so let's check. So okay, 4. So let's do for these two 4. Yes. So the next thing we are going to do, let's create this. Yes. So let's click this by holding control key and click all the other shape. Then let's go to format. Let's take let's go to send to the back. I want to send all of it to the back. So I will take this one. Okay, I want to take this one to be at this for now. I feel like there's some other settings I need to do. Let me check. Okay, just trying to look out outside. I check inside. The inside is better. So let me change it for other ones too. Let me use inside. The shadows will be inside. I don't like the way it's showing outside. Yep. Okay. Yes. So the next thing we are going to be doing. So let's create a text box. This text box we are going to have a to total cancellation year to date. Total cancellation year to date. So the only thing I'm changing here is just the color. So I will remove background. Let me change the setting so that it can be uniform. There 32 218. Then let me make this to be 262 and 148. So we have this. Let's make a duplicate of this. Copy, paste. So what we have here is going to first source last year, because we do not have any label for that particular value, so we need to put something here. So let's reduce the size to 8. You can change the color to this. Let's also reduce this 32 103 4. Let me make it to be 431, and let's increase it by 1. 7. Okay, so we have this information for this particular one. Then let's use it for, let's make a duplicate of this to do for the rest. So this is going to be total booking, total booking year to date. So 21, let's make this 218, 264, and 350. Okay, so the next thing is copy and paste this. So let's drop our total booking year to date. Let's drop it here. Total booking year to date, and the total booking year to date, let's format it to have a comma. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be doing is, okay, let's format this size. Okay, the size and position, let me make it to be 59. Let me make this one be 21. Let me make it 22224 and 367. Okay, so the next thing is, okay, I want to copy this. And do, yeah, okay. Actually, you don't need to copy this. I can just use this. Let me see if I can apply formatting. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. These are scattered. Yep. Okay. So for the cancellation heading, make 32, 218. Yeah, 262. Yeah. Okay. For the card here, have there 59. Okay. Let me take this to be 226 and 163. Okay. So so 254197. Okay, So I think I have the booking at the right place. So the card. Okay. 224367. Then this. Let me change it. 399 349 399 and this. Okay. Three, we have 103 428, then 400. So let's make a copy for this. Copy and paste. So 388. So let me do down to 50 401 401. Then cancel this. So format, let me send this one to the back. 1 2, so that let me send it to the back one time. So send backward is okay. Okay, so the next thing is to do for the, so I actually need this to format this. Oh, let me check what this has affected using that format. Okay, let me undo it and do the manual formatting. So average length of stay, format, yeah. But before I do this, let me first of all to, let me make it 1855. Let me make this to be 53534. So so 534255. Okay, so it's pretty cool now. So for this, we are going to make use of, let me use 59 instead of 51. Let's use 59, 59, 104 here, 2765, and 562, 562. And next thing is, I'm going to use, let me format this. First of all, remove the label, the call out, all the size that was used here. We have 12, so I change this one to 12. Then display to be null. So let's change the position here. Let me make this to be 33, 99, 322, 588. And the last thing here is change this to 392 or 590 is okay. 590. Then let's change the name first. Average length of stay year to date, and copy and paste. Copy and paste. Change this 119 387 254 588, and let's change it to average length of stay. I think that should be up. Yeah, so this average length of stay. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is occupancy rate. We are going to be calculating the occupancy rate. So let's select a new chart, line chart. Okay, So let's drop our date to x-axis and let's play this arrow. Let's change this to date. Okay, so the next thing is let's drop the occupancy rate. Yes, occupancy rate. Occupancy rate. Okay, we did not calculate the occupancy rate, so let's calculate the occupancy rate. So to calculate the occupancy rate, we already have the occupy room nights, but we need to identify how many room do they have available in that hotel. But since we did not have that information, we can hypothetically just assume a number. So let's just say the total room, uh, the total room night available. You can say 100. Let's assume we have 100. Then let's multiply that with distinct count of total number of order they've received. Okay, reservation date. So let's assume that the total number of room that they have available is just the unique of order they have and multiply by 100. Then to calculate the occupancy rate, so the occupancy rate is not going to be total number of room that was occupied divided by total number of room nights available. So now let's click on new measure. Okay, equals to divide occupy divided by total available room nights, 0. So with that, we can change that to percentage and change the decimal place number to 0. Then let's drag it here. Okay, so the occupancy rate can now be dropped it here. So we can see the okay. We don't need to. We can see that it has been okay since it's already giving high percentage. So don't let us give it a percentage. Let us leave it this way since we already multiply it by 100. So so let's add customer type. Let's identify it by customer type. So small multiple. Yeah. Yeah. So occupancy rate by customer type. So the next thing I'm going to do now is let's remove background. Let's remove visual border. Then small multiple, yes. So I'm going to change this one to and change this one to 4. No, let's change this one to 1 and let's change this one to 4. Yes. Okay, so this is it. So the next thing we are going to do, the x-axis, let's remove title and let leave value. Okay, so for y-axis, let's remove title and let's okay, it's okay this way. You can reduce the font size for the two. Let's go to x-axis now. So the data label. Okay, so let's change the line, the series, the colors. I'm going to be using this yellow. Okay, for the title, let's reduce the okay. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is let's create a filter button. Then for the first filter, let's drop hotel type. Let's start setting. Okay. Okay. So we are going to make it to be tie. Filter this page. So the last filter I'm going to use is the date filter. So let's drop the date calendar here. Okay, slice of our loop. Okay, so hotel performance, performance ethics. Overview page. Okay, reduce this lighter color. Yeah. So let's change the shape, the rotation. Let's change it to the round corner. Let's change it to 10. Okay. Okay. So this is where we are going to stop for this particular dashboard. Then in the second series of the dashboard, we are going to build the booking page and also the revenue page, and create the navigation button. So if you enjoyed the video, please kindly like and subscribe and turn up your notification